chasing your own shadow. When recognition falls apart, Millicent Barnes is not waiting for a bus. She's waiting for recognition. But recognition is not just being seen. Recognition means to know again. It is the continuity of story. It is memory confirmed by others. It is the fragile glue of identity. And when recognition splits into two stories, the self begins to unravel. The opening scene makes this clear. Millicent asks about the Cortland bus. The clerk repeats with indifference, "She'll be in when she'll be in." Millicent insists, "This is my first time asking." The clerk insists, "You already asked before." Right there, the ground shifts. Two recognitions of her history now exist. One says, "I have never asked before." The other says, "You have been here before." This is the seed of terror. The ego self cannot survive when witnesses contradict its story. It depends on consistent recognition. It needs every observer to line up with its narrative. Without that, the mask slips. Then comes the baggage. "That's your bag." No, it isn't. The clerk insists she checked it. She insists she did not. Again, two recognitions of history collide. If the bag is hers, her memory is false. If her memory is true, the witnesses are false. The bag itself is not the problem. The problem is the failure of recognition. The continuity of self cannot hold. The powder room drives it deeper. The attendant says, "You've been here before." Millicent insists, "No, I have not." She looks in the mirror and sees herself on the bench. Now, two hers occupy the same scene. One body in the powder room, one body on the bench. But notice, it is not invisibility that frightens her. It is recognition collapsing into two versions of her history. Which I is the real one? The I she thinks she is, or the I someone else thinks she is? Two recognitions side by side. Irreconcilable. This is why she spirals. It is not about seeing a double. It is about not having her story affirmed. It is about losing continuity. Her instinct is to run to the body. I must be sick. I must have a fever. This is the default defense. Cover the crack in identity with a medical excuse. Shift the blame from mind to body. But the fever is not the problem. The problem is fractured recognition. Paul Grinstead enters, grinning in her face. He offers explanations of parallel worlds. He comforts, then betrays. He hands her over to the police. That is how the false comfort always works. It grins, then condemns. And even when it says, "I did the right thing," guilt lingers. Why? Because betrayal cannot be love. The revealing line arrives. "At least I was Millicent Barnes." The moment she says, "I was," identity slips. If it can be lost, traded, or contradicted, it was never real. Rod Serling himself once thought he saw his double in an airport. That moment became this story. A crack in the matrix. A reminder, the continuity of the self is fragile because it is imagined. Millicent is a private secretary. She manages schedules, she controls appointments. She guards access. Her whole self-concept is keeping order in time. But she cannot keep this order. The schedule collapses. The bag duplicates. The mirror splits. The witnesses disagree. The recognition she depends on dissolves. And with it, her identity. The episode ends with Paul repeating her fate. His bag vanishes. He sees himself run out the door. He chases himself into the night. This is the destiny of anyone who clings to identity recognition. You will chase your own shadow until you stop. The spirit whispers, it was never about the bus, the bag, or the body. It was about recognition. As long as you demand that others recognize you the way you recognize yourself, you will suffer, because every witness holds a different picture of you, and none of them match. When recognition falls apart, the false self dissolves. What remains is what was always there, oneself, undoubled, undisturbed, still as God created you.